Hi everybody, welcome to Matt Does a Thing. This is a quick video. I brought this light in here hopefully so it'll show up good. It's kind of rainy and crappy today. So I was changing the oil in the Jeep, and most of you probably know that have a 3.8 liter Jeep JK. They can have a pretty nasty cold weather rattle. Crank them up when they're cold, summer or winter, but sometimes it's worse in the winter. That first few seconds of it running is and that's usually a bearing going bad or something's rattling, timing chains rattling. It sounds terrible, and there's a few ways around it. I had originally programmed where the ignition wouldn't kick on with my big fancy scan tool until it had oil pressure. And then I discovered this that anybody could do. It's kind of annoying because I wish I'd known about it the first time around. So I'm gonna try to show you this. I discovered this by accident and I can show you why. Let me turn the camera around. All right, I have a big fat foot. Well, I went to crank the JK and it turns out that if you'll take and when the Jeep's cold in the morning, and you don't want to hear that scary rattle, put your foot flat down like you're holding the Jeep wide open to the floor. Key in, turn it over, and it will not start. It just keeps turning over until you take your foot off, and then she fires up. So what's happening there is, hold on, so you don't have to hear the dinging. What's happening there is when you put your foot down at 100% throttle, the ECM goes into a unflooded fuel situation. So it'll just let the engine turn over and turn over and turn over until it thinks it's cleared the fuel situation. So in the mornings when you get up and you go out to your Jeep, especially if it's like me where you don't drive it that often, it's been sitting for a week, it's gonna have that little cold rattle and it's terrible. But if you'll take and put your foot flat down, hold it like that, and turn the key over, count till 5 in your head, and then let off the throttle and let it crank up, you won't get that rattle because it gives it a 5 or 6 seconds, and the starter's turning over at a slower rate, but it still builds the oil pressure and tightens up everything. So it's a pretty cool trick. I wish I had known about it a while ago. I was doing it way more complicated, but that's all you have to do. As soon as you let your foot out, it starts up, you go on, and yeah, it's great. You get it. All right, my camera died. I was just talking away. Hopefully I can splice that together. I didn't want to have to reshoot this whole thing. I was saying though, as that starter's turning over for a few seconds, it's building oil pressure, it stops that cold weather or cold start rattle. It won't hurt your starter to do a few extra seconds like that. It's not like you're doing it every time, but it will build the oil pressure, which is a good thing, especially in the 3.8. So yeah, it's not gonna hurt your starter. Even if it did, a starter motor is a lot cheaper than an engine. So let your engine build a little oil pressure, and don't listen to that little awful clattering when you crank up your 3.8 Jeep JK, especially a high mileage one like mine. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody.